There is one missing link. Modern man has something missing between his ears. These professors spend all their time digging in the dirt looking for bones. My dog does the same thing. But we don't make the taxpayers pay his salary while he does it. By the way, you can see this guy has furniture disease. His chest fell into his drawers. Too much ice cream, I believe. But the Bible says they think they're wise, but they are fools. They're trying to reject God is what they're trying to do. I think before the flood came, not only were people living longer and trees growing bigger, animals were growing bigger. Here's a hornless rhinoceros, 18 feet tall. That's a big rhino. People say, well, that's a prehistoric animal. No, did you know there's no such thing as prehistoric? The word prehistoric was not in the dictionary in 1766. No such word. They didn't have a word prehistoric. In 1860, Webster's dictionary did not contain the word prehistoric. It wasn't added till about 100 years ago when Darwin's theory became popular. There's no such thing as prehistoric. Now, there are things that are pre-flood, but that's not prehistoric. Major difference. I think things before the flood were different, like this dragonfly. People say, well, big deal, we got dragonflies today. Not like this one, you don't. He's got a 3-foot wingspan. How'd you like to hit that at 70 miles an hour? He'd take the bug deflector and the hood right off. Join you in the front seat. You guys don't have cockroaches in Alaska, do you? You do? Oh, you should come to Florida and see ours. Did you know they find fossil cockroaches that are 18 inches long? You didn't call Orkin in those days, you called the National Guard. A fossil centipede was found 8.5 feet long. That's a big centipede. Fossil grasshoppers, 2 feet long, have been found fossilized. Fossil cattails, 60 feet tall. Fossil donkey, 9 feet high at the shoulder. Fossil buffalo with 12-foot horn span. Fossil beaver, 8 foot long. I talked to the guy that found the beaver jaw. There's his Jim Erb and his phone number right there. Look, folks, if you have bigger trees, you need bigger beavers to chew them down. God kept everything balanced back in those days too, you know. A 1-inch shark's tooth indicates about a 12 to 15-foot shark. You know they find fossil shark's teeth indicating sharks probably were 80 feet long before the flood. Now, if you have more air pressure, that puts more gases into the water, which means bigger fish can survive and more fish per square foot can survive. So it's a different world before the flood. Turtles have been found that are huge by today's standards. Gigantic turtles. And birds, 13 feet tall, have been found. How'd you like to have one of them for Thanksgiving dinner? And lizards grew to be huge. Because reptiles never stop growing. A reptile grows all his life. People stop growing. When you're 16 or 18, you're going to stop growing. At least vertically. Some go horizontally after that. But your vertical growth is going to stop at 16 to 20 years of age. Reptiles never stop growing. I wonder what the reptiles would look like if you could put them back in the Garden of Eden before the flood came, give them double the air pressure, infinite food supply, no enemies, as we'll see in a minute, and let them live to be 900 years old. You can buy these at the pet store right now, folks. What's he going to look like at about 10 tons? A dinosaur. Dinosaurs were just big lizards that lived with Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. They did not live millions of years ago. They've always lived with man. Human bones and dinosaur bones have been found together. Human artifacts containing carvings of dinosaurs are found all over the place. Many, many thousands of them. We cover a lot more on that on the videotape about dinosaurs and the Bible and dinosaurs that are still alive. But down in Ica, Peru, they found nearly 50,000 stones with humans and dinosaurs carved on them. I got several friends that have some of these stones. We cover a lot more on that later. If you go to Dallas, Texas, head over to Fort Worth and start going south toward Waco, you will find a little town called Glen Rose, Texas. I've been there 3 times. There's a river that runs through town called the Paluxy River. Now, the Paluxy River flooded in 1908. It was a bad flood. The water was going through so fast, it tore the bottom of the river off. Solid rock, 2-foot layer of limestone ripped off and moved downstream 20 miles. The new layer underneath, a new layer of rock, contained thousands of dinosaur footprints. There were so many footprints there, they made a state park out of it. I've got the book on the table down there, Dinosaur Valley State Park. The state park is still there. The footprints were getting eroded, so they said, you know, we have to save some of the footprints. So they chiseled out large blocks of tracks and took them to museums to save them, so the erosion wouldn't destroy them. Footprints are pretty good size, too. Here's a kid taking a bath in one. His picture's on the back of the book right there. They also found human footprints with the dinosaur footprints. Human tracks and dinosaur tracks together. Oh, yeah. No, I don't think you necessarily have to find tracks together. Nobody's ever found human and chicken tracks in the same rock strata. Does that prove humans and chickens didn't live at the same time? I think some dinosaurs might still be alive, so we don't need to find the footprints together. But sometimes the human tracks are inside dinosaur tracks. And the footprints are pretty good size. There's a casting on the floor down there of one of the footprints. It's a size 24. Now, either the guy was 10 feet tall or he looked hilarious going to kindergarten.